Hi, my name is Sarah Moore, and we're going to be discussing gender inequality in the workplace. Historically speaking, women were considered inferior to men in a lot of different aspects. They were it was viewed that women would gain their position in a social circle based on the person whom they married. Um, People viewed women as a homemaker and that their sole responsibility was taking care of the children in the home. So income, any income that a woman made, was considered a secondary income. So they didn't need to be paid higher than men or the same as men in corporate America's eyes. So even positions that were more predominantly women, such as writing and journalism and nursing, all of those positions were still paid less than men. Writers such as J.K. Rowling would write under different names or use their initials so that they would be respected as writers and people would still read their work. Um, and so women historically don't have a lot of respect in the workplace. There's a lot of inequality when it comes to pay as well as just respect, and they feel that they have to be more dominant, and that compassion is considered a weakness and that they aren't able to show their emotions. So, um, that's what we will be discussing throughout this TED Talk, and I hope you enjoy.
Hey, my name is Sydney Zimmerman, and today I'll be sharing a personal story of how I have experienced gender inequality in my workforce. I currently work as an endpoint engineer and started as a co op back in 2021. As an engineer, I already work in a male dominated field, especially working in the construction industry. I graduated from Auburn University, and I noticed in a lot of my classes, there was probably about four or five females max in the majority of my classes, and with a total of like 45 males. So automatically, just a major as computer science is male dominated. Um, it seems like at the company I'm currently at that it's harder for females to get hired and promoted in my specific department. Um, the last time they had hired a female in our department was over 2 years ago. And they basically will co op or intern females until they leave rather than hiring them. I feel like I've seen that more in females than in males in general. Although there are more males that work here, there still is about five or six females that work in our department. Both of my bosses are males, and when I brought up the concern to one of my male coworkers, which I'm close friends with, he stated that the males in general tend to hire other males just because they get along with each other. And that's the same. He said that would be the same with females, which like I agree that it is easier sometimes for females to get along with other females. It's easier to get along with your same gender. But in the work field, I feel like this is like a big issue, especially as an engineer. They also play like video games with each other outside of work, which I feel like more males play video games than females, which gives them an advantage. And they said this is a reason why the males are hired quicker, or just hired more too. In my experience, it seems that no matter how much schooling or work ethic, degrees, certifications you have, if you're in a male industry, you automatically have the upper hand if you're a male, which does stink because I feel like it should be equal. I feel like there should treat females like the same as they do males, and just in general. And that's all I had for this TED Talk for this section.
An idea that pertains to women in the workplace that has not been covered in this class yet is gender wage equality and job satisfaction amongst women. When it comes to gender wage equality, a finding in research presented two different ways to look at this topic: small business managers paying their employees versus women in managerial positions. The research conducted suggests the idea that gender pay in the workplace is a status difference rather than a gender difference. Research explained that women small business owners paid their employees just as much as male small business owners. They compared this to an example of women in power versus men. While this is more understandable for smaller companies, it also reaches a deeper idea that women are not always placed in positions of power. This study also presented the findings that while the increase in managers over time has been accompanied by a decrease of wage gap amongst them, female managers still earn less and have less authority than their male counterparts. This idea suggests that while women may not be getting paid lower directly, they are indirectly affected by not always being promoted or supported in the positions that ultimately pay more. The next idea I wanted to discuss is female job satisfaction within the workplace. According to Banerjee and Perucci, correlates of women employees' job satisfaction have implications for their work-family balance and their productivity. There is evidence that women in highly accommodating workplaces are work satisfaction heavy, and it is important because it appears to be related not only to women's mental health, but also to the employer's bottom line. So essentially, what this research is suggesting is that women who are accompanied and accommodated within the workplace have a higher rate of satisfaction versus a workplace that's not willing to accommodate their needs. These are just two ideas that we have not covered yet about women.
Companies that make changes to bridge the gender gap can benefit greatly. Employees want to feel valued and they're being treated fairly. An inclusive and diverse environment provides this feeling due to high employee engagement. Higher employee engagement should lead to greater financial gain for your company. You might be wondering how a company can bridge the gender gap to receive these benefits. Here are 4 examples of how you can begin to bridge that gap. The first thing you can do is to start to create or change your company culture. Women should feel accepted and a sense of belonging in the workplace. According to McKinsey, 1 in 5 women said they are often the only woman or one of the only women in the room during working hours. Being the only woman in the room does not help women feel accepted or like they belong. Women can benefit from working with other women. The second thing you can do is concentrate on diversity during the hiring process. It's important to make sure that the hiring process is free of any internal biases. Changing the language of job postings may attract women to apply to jobs that are primarily male-driven. One example of this is if you're hiring for a sales role, the job posting should read salesperson rather than salesman. The term salesman can discourage women from applying. Create a transparent and fair compensation program. Creating a fair and transparent compensation program allows everyone across the company to get paid equally and everyone to understand that the levels of pay depends on experience. Offering employees a pay rate regardless of their gender helps to make everyone feel valued. The last thing that you can do in these examples is offer supportive and flexible benefits. The McKinsey study previously mentioned found that one of the largest stressors for women is the workplace burnout. Ways to prevent burnout is allowing for flexible hours and allowing for them to work the hours that best fits their needs. Offering benefits that allow for better work-life balance will lower emotions and reduce burnout. Making changes like these will be beneficial to your employees and your company. So join us as we take the first step to a more inclusive workplace environment for everyone. Thank you.